Welcome, warriors, archers, shields, and cavalry. I am your knight, taking up a wooden shield. Have you ever wanted to be a rock and not let anything past you? No? Well, that's too bad because you picked shields, my friend. Shields are the sustain of a battle, and can act as a wall to block your foes and add a safe retreat for your allies. Much like that anemone plant from Finding Nemo. But you have armor. Now let us rock the world with these strengths. Shields have the highest armor out of the starter units, which might not seem that good when you compare it to archers who, go through armor, but can mean a lot when you're going up in melee fights, as your units will stay alive a ton longer, because they're actually wearing something unlike those pesky leather-wearing swordsmen. Shields can negate most damage in shield wall, which is a good thing because when you're front-facing people, you would normally take a lot of damage. As with swords, you have to reset a lot. But with shields, you can go 5 or 6 battles without having to do anything as long as you play smart. Shields can provide cover for teammates such as archers and spears to hide behind them. Shields can also block choke points as seen in the Thermopylae map. And in town battle, they're especially good at certain places because they can block off main streets and so on. Shields can close areas off from opponents the same way they block choke points, but it's a bit different because you're moving side to side like that one pinball game. Now, let us crack the rock with the weaknesses, even though it may not even shatter. Shields have trouble when surrounded, so don't rush into 3 enemies alone, obviously. Unless you're God or something, but I don't think anybody here is a warlord god. Shields have no way of catching archers, so don't be that one guy that's in the middle of an archer unit while your units are far behind you in the middle of Narnia, and they just watch you get pelted. Shields are big eaters, so they're not going to win races to the point. They're also not going to catch up to many units. That's why you want to try to section them off in corners. Now, let us talk about some of the tips that will help you get your rock to the best defense possible. Now, while fighting, try to stay in shield formation as this increases the abuse you can take and lowers the amount of abuse your teammates have to take. Now, obviously, this is depending on the situation, but only be on a shield wall when retreating or running to a place, as you need speed in these situations. And shield wall will only slow you down and leave your back exposed. If surrounded, try to back up in shield wall. All of your enemies will be in front of you if you do this, and hopefully you won't take too much damage from retreating. Obviously, now if you have a group of berserkers, this might be a bit harder to do, but hopefully you don't have to worry about that until you get into the moderate units. Always, and I mean always, stay in hold formation when fighting with shield wall, unless you're against spears. Spears have a range advantage, so you have to advance much like a rock, or a boulder, if you want to call it that. But spears should not crack your rock, and that is the idea. Okay, don't be dumb and go for a 3v1, you aren't gods fighting peasants. You will fail. Block enemy escape routes and provide an escape for allies in trouble. You will be their shield. You can use that pinball technique that I told you about to move side to side, blocking enemies who are trying to run through you off, and also allowing your teammates to run through you because hitboxes don't matter when it comes to teammates. The shields, in conclusion, are truly a tank on the battlefield, and they can block many key positions and provide a ton of support for the team. Even winning against swords and spears who fight head-on, they typically stay on the field the longest, but if you play smart and your allies are even smarter, you can keep your teammates alive for longer than yourself. But anyways, guys, that's the end of this starter guide. Remember, upcoming, we have the Cavalry starter guide, and then I will also walk you through how to click through the menus and UI, and then we'll be moving on to our moderate guides, or intermediate as it's called technically. But anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Consider joining the kingdom and subscribing if you haven't already. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.